In this video, we're going to talk about the top 5 frequently asked questions when it comes to living in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Let's get started. What's up, everyone? This is Benjamin and Brian Tercero, and we are the Tercero agency right here in the beautiful Santa Fe, New Mexico. If this is your first time on this channel, we're here to get you educated on what it's like to be a Santa Fe local. So make sure that you tap that subscribe button just so that you're notified every time we release a new video.
We are born and raised in Santa Fe, and our families have been enjoying the city for generations. We wanted to share with you the top 5 questions our clients bring to us from all over the world.
Now, one of the most consistent questions that we get from out-of-town clients is whether or not a location is safe. Look, buying a home is a big decision. In fact, it's one of the most stressful and important decisions we humans make throughout our entire lives. And more than anything else, a home is a place where we want to feel safe and secure. So of course people ask us this question. That being said, as a realtor, I'm legally bound to the Fair Housing Act, which means I can't really discuss the safety of neighborhoods, otherwise I can lose my job. So if you ask me directly whether the house that we're looking at together is in a safe neighborhood, that's the answer that I have to give you. But that's not all I'll give you. See, there are resources that I can point you to so that you can do your own due diligence when considering different areas. First, do your own research online. There are sites like areavibes.com, and you can also contact the local police department to ask about any public records that they may have on the home or maybe even the surrounding homes. Okay, but we all know those people that write bad reviews about everything that they experience. I mean, they could be served the most delicious meal ever to have graced a plate, and then complain about the shape of their fork. So online reviews are just opinions that need to be weighed with a grain of salt. An even better way to gauge the safety of a place is to speak directly to the locals. Talk people up in restaurants, join a Facebook group, do what you can to learn what the people that actually live here think about it. Finally, walk or drive around the neighborhood and get a sense of it for yourself. If everyone has bars on their windows, or if you see broken glass everywhere, or couches on the sidewalk, or someone climbing into the neighbor's window, that probably means something. But I'm a realtor, so I can't say what that means exactly, but it might be something worth considering. At the end of the day, this is a place that you want to feel safe. So be sure to do some due diligence before putting in an offer, because not liking the neighborhood isn't a legitimate reason for terminating a real estate contract. Be sure to do your homework.
An overwhelming majority of the people who are reaching out to us really want to know what the diversity is like here in Santa Fe. Santa Fe has such a rich history of culture and a true live and let live type spirit, and there's a lot of things that contribute to that. In recent years, Santa Fe has attracted an average of 2 million overnight visitors annually. The most popular months for visitors are April through October, peaking in July and in August. Now, to put this in perspective, Santa Fe is not a huge city population-wise to begin with. Santa Fe has around 86,000 residents, closer to 150 if we include the surrounding areas in the county. Santa Fe every year is ranked in publications and magazines as one of the best tourist destinations to visit, and we pull visitors from around the world. It's because of all those visitors that all of us out here in Santa Fe are really used to welcoming people to our city. And in fact, it's one of the things we hear from a lot of people who come to visit Santa Fe is that they're just super surprised with how nice and welcoming all the people are here, even in the tourist areas like downtown on the plaza. We also have a huge number of people that keep coming back to Santa Fe. Once they've experienced our city when they were younger, just passing through for a conference or whatever brought them here, they completely fall in love and they keep coming back for years. The fact that people here kind of just allow each other the space to just be, that's part of the reason why a lot of the visitors, they just keep coming back, and why a lot of people are making the decision to move here permanently. Santa Fe truly is a cultural melting pot. It is not uncommon to be sitting in my favorite French cafe, enjoying a giant latte served in a bowl, the best croissants in town, listening to conversations around the restaurant, and you can hear 2 to 3 different languages being spoken. And since we're on the subject of languages, I've had people ask me, hey Brian, do I need to know how to speak Spanish when I move down there? And the answer is no, you don't. But guess what? It'd be a lot cooler if you did. We do have a lot of native Spanish speaking people who'd love to have a conversation in English or in Spanglish, or if you're fluent in Spanish, you're gonna have the opportunity to practice all over town. Cultural diversity is woven so deeply into the fabric of our community, Native Americans, Spanish, Europeans and Anglos, Latin Americans, all blended together, working together to protect the history and keeping the traditions alive in our families. This has created a unique experience for travelers to this day, and it's something pretty special. Santa Fe also has a deep love for the arts, and it's a commonality for many that have called Santa Fe their home. And it's something that transcends any racial barriers or differences. The art scene alone would account for a lot of the cultural acceptance and the collaborative vibe that you'll find here. The city of Santa Fe brings in all kinds of people with all kinds of backgrounds from all kinds of nationalities, ethnic groups, and all kinds of belief systems and religious faiths, and all levels of social and economic statuses. When people ask me about the diversity in the city, it's clear to me that what they really want to know is, are they going to be accepted here? Will they have the opportunity to find a community of people that they can fit in with? Will their kids get the benefit of having the opportunity to be exposed to other people in other cultures and other thought processes? Can Santa Fe really offer that to you? And I'm here to tell you that being from Santa Fe and helping hundreds of people from all over the world relocate to my hometown, helping them get settled in, the answer is definitely yes.
All right, number 3, let's talk about the weather. And we've talked about this a lot in some of our other videos, so make sure you go watch those. But this is one of the most common questions that we get from our clients. What's the weather like? Well, it's beautiful. The sun is out for an average of 325 days. We have crisp, fresh air. Our rain smells like heaven. And when the snow arrives, it's a gorgeous blend with our adobe architecture. Until it melts, that is. Then it's just a lot of mud. Now you can plan to enjoy weekly hikes, skiing season, golfing, or just sitting on your new porch watching the most beautiful sunsets you've ever seen. The weather here, it's one of the major reasons why people settled here in the past in the first place, and that hasn't changed. You aren't fighting humidity that makes your hair look like the Bride of Frankenstein. You aren't worrying about tornadoes sweeping up your children or pets and floods washing your car down the street. The weather is about as chill as a Bob Marley song. Every little thing's gonna be all right. Now, we do get the occasional thunderstorm or blizzard, but on those days, you can cozy up to a Kiva fireplace and sip on some coffee, maybe even pinon coffee. At the end of the day, we have one of the most beautiful climates in the entire world, and it is one of the main reasons our clients love Santa Fe.
So here we are on number 4, and another common question we get about moving to Santa Fe is, what type of wildlife do you have there? It's kind of funny because a lot of people think we live in a desert. This definitely isn't the Sahara. We don't have camels to walk over the sand to the grocery store, okay? Santa Fe is nestled in at the base of the Sangre de Cristo mountain range, which is the southernmost portion of the Rocky Mountains. Yes, the same Rocky Mountains that run through Colorado. Our altitude is actually higher than the famous Mile High City. Denver is sitting at 5,200 feet, Santa Fe is at 7,200 feet. And we have way more greenery than most people realize. Santa Fe is not a desert, it's a beautiful mountain town that bursts to life every spring. So living in the foothills of the mountains, we have all kinds of wildlife running around, and in town you can expect all the cute little forest creatures. Raccoons, squirrels, skunks, chipmunks, cottontail rabbits, all kinds of birds. In the higher mountain areas, we have mule deer, elk, and Barbary sheep. They're all hiding out somewhere up there. We also have a number of predators out and about. Coyotes are the most common, but we also have bobcats, mountain lions, and black bears. For the most part, the most dangerous animals, they keep to themselves at the higher elevations in the mountains. But every once in a while, we'll have a curious bear that decides to investigate someone's yard. If you're living up on the mountainside, you're gonna wanna watch out for them. It's not uncommon to see a coyote cruising the plaza every once in a while. I've also seen a coyote chasing a roadrunner around the golf course. I still don't think he's been able to catch it. We also have a number of snakes. Most of them are harmless, but we do have rattlesnakes that you have to watch out for when you're out for a hike. In all my years of living here, I've hiked as many canyons as possible, and I still have yet to see a rattlesnake in the wild. But they are common, and you do have to be careful. So what about the spider and insect situation? Well, this is definitely not Texas, where the mosquitoes are like giant helicopters coming in for landing. They are much more manageable, and they're really tiny. If you live around standing water, the gnats and the mosquitoes, they're gonna be worse. But it's something that I don't think about too much, unless I go fly fishing or I'm out for a hike. Then I might spray on some bug repellent to keep the pests off. But at home, it's something I never think about. They're just not that big of a deal. Okay, so what about the scary ones that nobody wants to talk about? We do have black widows, brown recluse spiders, and centipedes. You're gonna wanna look out for those. Black widows are super common here. They mostly like to live outside in the nooks and the crannies of our yards. They're actually really good spiders because they keep the population down of other pests. But if you get bitten by one, it's not gonna feel very good, and you're most likely gonna need to see a doctor because they are venomous. Now the brown recluse spiders, you do not want to get bitten by one of those. They are much less common than the black widows. I've never seen one in person, but I know they're out and about. Now centipedes, on the other hand, they're pretty harmless, but oh my God, are they terrifying. If you ever see a centipede scrambling across the kitchen floor with a million legs running at full speed, headed straight for your foot, you're either gonna grab a crucifix, start the exorcism, grab a freaking blowtorch, or just jump in a chair and scream in terror. Hey, everybody's different. Are you fight or fight? Don't tell me you've never gone into a sheer panic when you've been threatened by an insect 1,000 times smaller than you. Over the years, I've learned to keep my cool, sweep them up in a dustpan, and let them survive the rest of their terrifying little lives outside where they belong. But the thought of burning down the shed outside because of a black widow family living inside of it has crossed my mind. Santa Fe has wildlife and plenty of it, and keeping your small pets safe from coyotes and bobcats is something that you have to think about. Having a yard fully enclosed, keeping your small pets close to home or sleeping inside at night, and not letting them roam around all on their own is pretty important, especially if you live in areas higher up in the mountains. And for you outdoor enthusiasts, understanding where you are, what wildlife you can encounter while you're on your trip is important to staying safe. Take the proper precautions, learn the areas, and you'll be just fine.
All right, another frequently asked question, and I'm not kidding about this one. We have so many people that apparently skipped their American geography classes for their entire lives and literally ask us, is New Mexico a part of the United States? And if they need a passport or not to visit. John, can you pull up a map on there? Look, that's New Mexico and it is in America. Okay, all jest aside, New Mexico is indeed part of the great 50 states. And no, you do not need a passport to get in, okay? That said, you can still bring a passport and go have some good times down in Juarez where the tequila and mezcal flow like milk and honey. Maybe take some dancing lessons first though to make the whole experience worthwhile. To get to Juarez, Mexico from Santa Fe, New Mexico, you're looking at a good 5 to 6 hour drive. Now, quick history lesson, okay? New Mexico became annexed into the United States back in 1848. It didn't officially become a state until 1912. Santa Fe is the site of both the oldest public building in America, the Palace of the Governors, and the nation's oldest community celebration, Santa Fe Fiesta, which was established in 1712 to commemorate the Spanish reconquest of New Mexico in the summer of 1692. So the Pueblo Indians, they date back way further to as early as the year 800 in the Common Era and have a rich history of their own throughout all of the Southwest. Now, all that to say, we have a rich history that is not American in its essence, but we are now part of the 50 states.
So that's just a few of the frequently asked questions that we get. If there are any other questions that you have, or if you're thinking about moving or relocating to Santa Fe, make sure that you give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email, or even leave us a comment on this video. However you want to get a hold of us, we're here to serve you in your move to the Santa Fe area. Let us be your guide.